Hey guys, your buddy Platt here, back with another episode of One Gallon Brewing. Today I show you how to brew an English IPA. So let's go. Alright guys, got another little fun video for you. Today we're kind of following up our previous episode of One Gallon Brewing. There we brewed an American IPA. Today we're going to do the English counterpart, the OG of IPAs, the English IPA. In the last video, I stated stylistically the main difference between these two were the hops. American IPAs will use American-style hops, which have a little piney, citrusy note, or a little more aggressive than the hops, the noble hops that are used in English IPAs. I do want to bring up, there's also another slight stylistic difference that you'll notice, and especially with the one we're doing here today, is I talked about that the English IPA, the IPA was created for long ocean voyages, and they bumped up the hops and they bumped up the alcohol. Now, traditionally here in the U.S., most IPAs are generally 6% and up, 6 to 7, and after that you start getting into imperial and double IPAs and all that stuff. English IPAs generally start at 5% alcohol. Now that may seem kind of counterintuitive, but a couple hundred years ago during the British Empire, the way they taxed beer was on the amount of malt that went into the beer. So that was that affected the cost dynamics, and most of the beers sold at the time, especially in pubs, were more session style beers in the 3 to 4s. So when they came out with the IPA, they went to 5 and 6. That did seem like quite a bit of a jump. So just noting, I think this particular IPA we're doing is in the low 5s, so I just wanted to bring that up. That seemed a little low for you. The English style IPAs tend to start at 5% instead of here in the U.S. where most IPAs start around 6. So that's, again, basically kind of sums up the difference in that. We will also be utilizing, like I said, we'll be utilizing those noble hops. And actually, we're going to do something today. I'll go ahead and talk about this. We're going to substitute a hop. My recipe called for something called Challenger hop. I did not have one, but you can substitute it with Northern Brewer, which I did have. I'll leave a chart down below. Once you get into homebrewing, I've vaguely touched about this in other videos, you will want to know what you can kind of substitute for, because sometimes you just can't find a certain style hop. Maybe it's your local homebrew shop or online, or you have another hop that you'd used from a previous batch, hadn't used all of it. So you want to kind of at least be aware of the concept. You can interchange some of these hops. A lot of times they'll have the same alpha acid rating, or percentage, or what have you. Stylistically, they're close enough, especially if you're not doing a smash ale where it's just one type of hop. You'll notice a difference in. But if you got multiple hops, going into a beer, substituting does not necessarily alter the flavor as much. I'll leave a link down below on a chart for you that can help you out. So with that being said, let's get to brewing an English IPA. All right, guys, we've heated up 7 quarts of water to 162 degrees. Time to mash in. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the heat, and we're going to start pouring those grains in. As I always talk about in these videos, it's utterly important to get all these grains stirred in, every bit hydrated. This is going to help with your what's known as mash efficiency, basically, how well you convert those grains into sugars, and then how those sugars get utilized by the yeast. So let me get this all stirred in, then we'll cover it up, and we'll let it sit for 1 hour. And generally when you add the grains, you'll drop the temperature to the low 150s. We'll let this sit for an hour and then come back to strain the grains and then start our boil. All right, guys, it's been 1 hour. Time to go ahead and pull our grains. I've said it once, I've said it plenty of times, this is one of the best parts of the brew in the bag method. Just makes our life easier, no sparging. We'll go ahead and drain these. These are a little colander here. I don't know if I've said this in past videos, and if I haven't, I'm definitely bringing it up here. One of the things that people feel like doing is, well, I want to press down in these grains. I want to, get all that juice out. The hulls of the grains have tannins, just like grape skins or fruit skins. So we don't want to press this because we can extract those tannins. that can add to some astringency to our beer. So we're just going to let this drain. While I'm draining, I'll go ahead and hit the heat back on, and we'll come back for the start of our boil. All right, guys, we're here at the start of our boil. Of course, one of the first things we want to do at the start of the boil is make sure we get through that hot break. You're going to see her kind of start to foam up real quick. Simplest thing to do is either give her a good stir to kind of cut that down. You could always cut down the heat too. Just, you want to make sure you avoid a boil over. This stuff is so sweet, so sticky. Trust me, it is the last thing that you want is a boil over. All right. Looking like we're kind of getting through that part here. Next thing we'll do at the start of the boil is add our first hop addition. The recipe called for something called Challenger hops. We're using Northern Brewer. I will leave in the description down below a link to that hop conversion chart. Just helps you, makes your life a little easier in case you can't find, the specific hop. Yeah, it gets a little aggressive there. All right, All right, give her a swirl. We will come back now in 50 minutes to do our next hop addition. All right, guys, we have 10 minutes left in our 60-minute boil. I don't know if I said that up front. We're going to add our last hop addition. This is going to be a 1/4 ounce of East Kent Golding hop, another traditional noble hop. One of the things I encourage you to do every once in a while is literally just put your nose kind of over the pot and really kind of pick up some of these aromas, because one of the first things I've noticed on this boil is these noble hops, how much just more floral, grassy, kind of barnyard nose, again contrasting to the classic American kind of piney hops that we're used to. Lastly, also at this 10-minute point, I'm just going to drop in our little Whirlfloc tablet. That is to help clear our beer, kind of coagulate some of those proteins. So with that being said, we're going to give this 10 more minutes, and then we'll come back to chill our wort. All right, guys, time to chill our wort. Throw that in the sink. You guys probably seen before, I keep these frozen to throw in there. If you have ever worked in any kind of place where you need a food handler's card, or restaurant, what have you, I'm sure you understand the concept of the temperature danger zone. And we're kind of in that same predicament. We're taking this from a boil, 212 degrees roughly, down to whatever our pitch temperature is. And you want to do that as fast as possible, because right now while it's cooling off, it's in that temperature danger zone. Kind of like if you cook a big pot of chili and only eat a couple of bowls out of it and you want to save it, you need to chill that as fast as possible. Same thing for your home brew. You want to get that chilled down to pitching temperature, whatever that is, as fast as possible. That's why I like doing these 1 gallon batches, because it's a lot easier to chill 1 gallon than 5 gallon. Also, that's why I like the Kviek Yeast, because I don't have to chill as low. But you want to get this done as quick as possible. So let me do that, and then we'll come back to wrap up. All right, guys, time to wrap up. Fun little recipe there. Real quick, let's jump into that mash bill. We had 2 1/4 pounds of pale chew Row Malt, 4 ounces of Crystal 60 malt. In our boil, which was a 60-minute boil, at the start of that boil, we added 0.3 ounces of Northern Brewer. That was a substitute for Challenger. Again, I'll leave a link down below for that hop conversion chart. With 10 minutes left in that boil, we added a 1/4 ounce of East Kent Golding hops. Let's run down the numbers real quick. Projected original gravity 1056 for projected final gravity at 1017. So for a projected ABV of 5.1, so we'll be in the low fives. And our projected IBU is 53. That is a little bigger than, let's say, a comparable pale ale, around that strength. Did our gravity reading, and we hit it, 1056. So we will be in the low fives. There may be a little variance. I'm using Kviek Yeast. those measurements are probably based off of traditional ale yeast, so may have a little variance there. We are going to leave this in primary for 1 week, put it into secondary for 2 weeks. We'll bottle, and in about a month's time, we should have a delicious English IPA, you know, with that unique noble hops kind of nose to it in contrast to the American IPA. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you'd like me to brew, please leave me in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.